We have a virtual meditative walk, which is will be used in human subject studies coming this late summer or early autumn. We'll be doing 4 to 6 training sessions for people. We're using mindfulness meditation because one of the few things that helps people to gain a sense of control over their pain and self-modulate. So by combining biofeedback in a responsive virtual environment, we're actually able to give people an indication when they're reaching a meditative state and help train them how to use meditation to self-modulate their pain. Diane Grimala has been working with art and VR since the early 1990s. She's one of the first artists to use virtual reality in her work. Since then, she's been using biofeedback and virtual reality in responsive environments to study a connection between embodiment and technological apparatuses. She has an earlier piece called the Meditation Chamber, which is her first foray into meditation and biofeedback. And this has grown out directly out of that process. It's on. The audio will walk you through the experience, and you can use the
So the visual feedback that we're using to tell if a person is in a meditative state or if they're in a meditative state is the level of fog that they see in the environment. So as they enter a meditative state, the fog begins to clear up. And so we're using virtuals for our 3D environment, and the way that it works is that at the beginning they're introduced to the system where they're given basic instructions in terms of how the virtual reality system actually works, and then they're connected to biofeedback sensors. And the timeline for the walk itself is anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes. And so we're hoping that the idea is that through multiple runs that they get better at entering a meditative state. They're wearing headphones, so we get a certain level of isolation from external noise that's in the conference area. But ideally, you want to be in a quieter environment than this. But the responses have been very positive.
Well, I think probably because it's in this environment, it was hard for me to get into a relaxed state. But it was interesting just to kind of, I let it kind of just go for me, and I just turned around. I couldn't figure out how to go to walk, but yeah, I just kind of looked around at my surroundings. And
it was quite calming. Like at first it was a little tense because I'm like starting up, I don't know what's actually going to happen. But as I was kind of slowly going through, it was very calming music, and there's just like plants and flowers around, so I kind of stopped and turned around toward those. It was pretty soothing, so I managed to like calm down. It actually, I guess, did what it was supposed to do, in that it gave me this like meditative state.
Right.
With the sound combined with the visual feedback, really helped.
It was really relaxing and calming. It was nice to be able to. It felt interesting to go through a virtual walk. The visuals were. I'm not sure if they were sometimes a little distracting because they were very sort of pixelated and definitely virtual. But to give you that sort of depth of field and that movement, it worked pretty good.
We're the only research group using virtual reality to study chronic pain. Most of the studies that have been done have been on acute pain, and then there's lots of exposure therapy, things like arachnophobia is very popular, and public speaking, things like that. But no one else is really focusing on chronic pain, which is a huge issue. 1 in 5 North Americans suffer from chronic pain. So we think that we have something that will at least provide some help.